It's just like we're in a 60-40 blue district, and more Democrats in general now identify as progressive than moderate. Like, it's time to fight back with good policies, right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, like, we need a stronger party to stand up to what's going on right now.
I'm Corey Davenport.
And I'm Nicole Gorey.
So tonight we're interviewing Dylan Blaha.
We are.
He's a progressive candidate trying to primary our current representative to federal Congress, Nikki Budzinski.
And he's kind of radical for Congress. I feel like
he's pro-Palestine, very anti-ICE. He got his security clearance revoked by Pete Hegseth himself.
We love a bad boy.
We do love a bad boy here. He referred to ICE as fascist Gestapo, which, it's pretty cool.
That is.
He's pro-Palestine, whereas Nikki Budzinski is paid off by AIPAC, which is the Israeli lobby.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no.
I'm going to learn a lot.
Yeah, you should look into AIPAC. Most of our Congress people take money from them, and we give them billions in aid to commit a genocide. But Dylan Blaha is against that.
Yeah. But anyway,
Dylan Blaha.
Dylan Blaha. Blaha.
And you welcome, Blaha. Yeah, it's for the Blaha boys and the Blaha babes and the Blaha. Oh shit, what's a good non-binary B word?
Did you say babes?
I did say babes.
Okay, you did say babes. Okay.
Yeah, babes can go non-binary, so can boys.
Okay, we gotta go. Shut up, Corey. Bye.
Get over there. Get on ya. So we're here with Dylan Blaha. You're a progressive candidate trying to primary Nikki Budzinski, correct?
Yep, not just trying. We're doing it. But no, thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. No, I mean, I love having on any progressive candidate. I met you at the one of the No Kings.
Yep, the Alton protest.
Yep,
Yeah.
And you had a pro-Palestine bracelet on, and I was like, oh, you're a Democrat and you like Palestine? Shit, dog, what's up with that?
Yep. So I'm a U.S. Army veteran. Served for over 13 years in the Illinois National Guard. Over 5 of that on active duty. And I've served in Afghanistan. I was actually in Germany on October 7th, so I've seen the data. I've seen what's there. And once you know the history of everything that's happened over the last 100 years in Palestine, and then with British Mandate Palestine, the Nakba of 1948, and what's happening now, I don't know who can't stand against genocide. I mean, Nikki Budzinski obviously can't. She continues to arm Israel, but I find it reprehensible.
Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree. One of the most meaningful conversations I've ever had in my life was with a survivor of the Nakba I talked to over in St. Louis. So, very big fan of geopolitics and Palestinian liberation.
I'm still learning about politics, which is what I'm here for. So what is the Nakba? I don't know about that.
The Nakba translates to catastrophe.
Okay.
It's basically whenever the Palestinians were driven from their ancestral land by Zionists, armed by American and European armies.
And the phrase, so there's a Zionist phrase, a land without a people for a people without a land. So they were trying to say that there was nobody there when they rocked up into Palestine. And they absolutely didn't kill and displace 750,000 Palestinians to do it. So
yeah.
In 1917, there was a Balfour Declaration, and that was when the British actually, so America wasn't even involved, they said, all right, this land here, we're calling it British Mandate Palestine, and the Jews should go here. And some of that was rooted in anti-Semitism at the time,
Yes, they wanted to get the Jews out of their out of their towns, because anti-Semitism is one of the oldest things that Christians have ever gotten into. Mm-hmm. A lot of the current conspiracy culture goes all the way back to the Middle Ages. I mean, one doesn't have to look further than the Protocols of the Elders of Zion to just see a Middle Ages thing where it's like the Jews are going to come out at night. They're going to eat your babies. They're going to cook them up. They're going to eat them because they're demons. Yeah. Like the reptilian conspiracy boils down to medieval traditions of Jews. It's kind of fucked up.
Well, and that's why it is so hard to talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Because people call me an anti-Semite for speaking up for Palestine, for talking about AIPAC too much. And the reason I talk about AIPAC is, well, one, they're doing a lot of horrible things by, really just rallying Congress to be pro-Israel. They're one of the most prominent ones, but they're also the one that has the most name recognition, right? Like there's J Street, there's Democratic Majority for Israel, like there's other organizations, but sometimes it is kind of a branding thing and there is such recognition that the number one comment I get on my social media, I'll make a video about women's rights and the comments will go, do you take AIPAC money? I mean, it's crazy.
That's a good question. Because Budzinski does take AIPAC money.
She does, yeah.
You do not, correct?
I do not. I don't take corporate money. I don't take pro-Israel lobby money or any foreign interest money at all.
That's good to know. Because ultimately it breaks down to AIPAC is a foreign government lobbying for us to give them more money and weapons.
I can't believe that's even allowed. Like, what?
Well, and the crazy thing is that, like, they're not even registered as a foreign lobby because otherwise there would be different regulations. But
yeah, it gets messy. It's murky.
And unfortunately, the U.S. has had a vested interest in the Israel project from the beginning. So
it's like an aircraft carrier that we don't even have to put out to sea. Yeah. We can just put all of our shit out there. We even let them have nukes. We even let them try to build nukes with South Africa.
That's scary.
Yeah. But outside of Palestine, which is one of my big issues, in case you didn't notice.
No, it's good. Yeah.
So you mentioned that you were in Germany on October 7th, which means you got some information. I'm sure some of that required a top secret clearance that you don't have anymore.
Yep.
I heard that you got a Hegseth.
Yeah, so I made several videos. The first one in late August when Trump threatened Chicago. And I made a video just reminding service members to disobey unlawful orders. And I didn't say necessarily to not deploy to Chicago. Kind of like in my second video, I did the same thing after he threatened Portland. But I said, just following orders is not an excuse for war crimes. And as we're seeing right now with the double tap on that boat in the Caribbean. And since then they're trying to get me on any technicality they can.
What was the response from your superiors from that, actually? I was wondering about that.
So my immediate superiors kind of just like shook their head and they're like, oh boy, we told them not to do it. But that is the problem, is like there is this culture of fear. And so I think they're just like, God, why would he speak out? Unfortunately, because those videos were so viral, Hegseth probably saw them himself, and so he, felt compelled to do something. So they took my security clearance away, and they launched a full investigation.
I would love to piss him off. That's kind of cool, though.
It is funny that like some of the things that they've brought up. I mean, I haven't been charged officially yet, but there's like 7 different things, and one of them is the Hatch Act, which I think is hilarious because they've violated the Hatch Act continuously.
Yeah, during the shutdown, they're like, the Democrats are why you can't go to the park no more.
But it's an example of how they'll weaponize the law to get their way, and then meanwhile, the Supreme Court lets Texas be completely racist and do that gerrymander.
Well, I mean, they'll secede if you don't let them be racist.
Yeah.
So you don't have a security clearance anymore.
Yeah, at least for now. I mean, I applied to get it back, so we'll see. I mean, we'll see what the fallout is. Yeah.
All right, so does your alien down at Area 51 miss you?
I haven't talked to it in a while. But
anyways, so you've pissed off Pete Hegseth.
Yep,
that's pretty cool. He's probably my least favorite of Trump's cabinet members.
Yeah,
I mean, how do you rank those? Because for me, my least favorite, Pete Hegseth. My second least favorite is probably. God, they're all so fun though.
Like, I would say Noam probably.
Yeah. Kristi Noem's terrible. She did take that dog out to the gravel pit, put it down. That's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
And then she went to Springfield.
Yep, she did. That outside was Pritzker's mansion.
Yeah, that was super fucked up to capitalize on a woman's tragic murder. So yeah, you brought up ICE too. I mean, speaking of Kristi Noem, you're an Illinois guy, and we're all watching ICE invade our communities.
Yeah,
like we saw it in Stoughton, even. Like you were there.
Yep, I was there.
Yeah, you're one of the only Democrats I've ever heard use the word fascist.
What they did to Ishmael is horrifying, but it is not shocking. ICE is detaining our community members across the United States including U.S. citizens, based on a lie. It is a lie that crime is up in major cities, and it is a lie that undocumented immigrants are a major cause of crime. But this was never about crime. This is a power grab. This is a fascist, nationalist power grab by a bunch of bigots and billionaires.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's important to say that, right? Because ultimately, I've ragged on Nikki for her lack of effort right now. And some people do ask me, well, what would you do differently? And I'm like, well, I would educate the people that this is fascism. I would encourage them to build community, and I would help them find ways that they can fight back now, because she's had terrible vote after terrible vote with Lake and Riley voting against our LGBTQ plus community with the NDAA last year, her unwavering support of Israel. But all with that, I was still on the fence. I was like, I don't know. I need to think about it. This is a big decision. And then she had a town hall in April, and somebody asked, hey, we're really scared. What can we do? And it was the one in Chatham. And she said, well, you can vote for me in the next election. And I was like, no, screw that. Screw it. I filed my papers that following Monday.
I was going to ask, so how did that process, what do you do when you were like, I'm going to run for Congress? How do you do that?
Yeah, to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing, I mean, I don't have friends in politics. Luckily I do now, and some of them are secret friends, and, some of them are friends that will actually get pictures with me. But, I mean, Illinois politics is very establishment-y, especially at the local level, Yeah, I mean, luckily, Champaign County at least would help circulate my petitions. Most counties wouldn't. But still, they'll just spread crazy rumors about me, stuff like that. But okay, so
what's the craziest?
They're usually the same, right? They'll just randomly make up one about, Dylan gets drunk and hits on women. That's their favorite
Who doesn't
one.
Get drunk?
Yeah,
but honestly, that. I mean, it. I honestly don't drink ever because I do have PTSD. So if I go to a bar, I have maybe a beer or two, but never more than that. And I've never actually hit on a woman at a bar. It's just one of those things. No, it's not my MO. Yeah.
One time I hit on a guy in the bar and my lazy eye went this way. And that's really embarrassing when you're trying to mac when you have a lazy eye because it was just like, what were you looking at?
I have 3 secret children.
Oh, man.
At least 3 secret
anyway,
children.
We're getting back. We got to have him answer the question.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I read all the legal jargon that I could as far as, finance regulations and whatnot. But ultimately, I paid for my website myself up front by putting it on my credit card. And then I just wrote it all in the first week because I figured who's going to vote for me unless they know what my platform is, Yeah. So I mean, I've edited it here and there, but a lot of what's on that website, I wrote in the first week in April just to make sure that it was out there. And then I just kind of gained one volunteer at a time and set up everything myself. I mean, it was really a while until I would be like, man, I feel like I wasted some weeks here, floundering. But I mean, that's what it's like to get into politics by yourself. It's really not accessible for people like you or me. I mean, it's really not. And if I were to tell myself to do it again, I would say plan to loan yourself $20,000 just to get off the ground because everything is so expensive because all these corporate AIPAC Democrats, they don't care where that money goes. So they'll have software that you need in order to file your reports, and it'll cost over $1,000 a month just for some basic program. And it's but you can't do it otherwise. Yeah.
That should be subsidized. Anyone should be able to run for office.
And there are at least, no. And I mean, I'm in favor of public funding. I mean,
did you have any friends and family who really encouraged you or helped out at all? Not even financially, but just I
mean, honestly, my parents are struggling too. So I mean, they were like, hey, we back you, we'll support you. They actually live in Indiana. So I have the Notre Dame hoodie. They live kind of by Notre Dame. But so yeah, I mean, I just my brother lives with me in my house in Urbana. So he was fully behind me. I was telling him, I was
so
like,
you had
Sean,
support though. You had people around you.
Yeah, exactly. Support. At the time I was saying, all right, I was considering what to do. I've always wanted to do a career where I helped people. So that's why sought healthcare. I got into medical school at one point, and then I didn't go. I was a cancer researcher for a while, but I was inspired by people like AOC and what they ran on in 2018, you know, and the idea that, oh, maybe our government can still, you know, get better and institute change. So like that is ultimately why I'm running. And I tell people, because the only time people prefer Nikki is because she's been around and they like her as a friend, you know? And so I tell people I'm not running against Nikki Budzinski as a person. I don't know her as a person. I know her voting record. I know who she takes money from. And I can be better than that. I can be somebody that fights for working people.
I dig that. Yeah, because like, I have a real problem with the way I view the world sometimes, where I'm like, God damn it, who am I supposed to vote for? I hate all of these people.
Yeah.
All of these people suck.
Evils.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm voting for the lesser of evils. And it's like they're both taking money from like Israel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, God. And Saudi Arabia, just like some of the worst places in the world as far as human rights violations go. And I'm just like, God damn it, dude. And both of them have been implicated in things that have directly harmed the U.S.
Yeah.
Like Saudi Arabia's 28 pages on 9/11. Like, poof, that's a crazy one. And then you got like Israel and the USS Liberty in 1967, which used to be a far right talking point. Like, have you noticed like how many like far right conspiracy theories have like come up to the door and like tapped on the glass and been like, "Hey, what up? Remember me?"
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's crazy.
Like Epstein. I first heard about Epstein through fucking Alex Jones.
Wow.
Alex Jones like that Jeffrey Epstein's. He's out there. He's getting them kids. You know, he's turning them frogs gay. He's getting the kids.
A broken clock is right twice a day. Isn't that what it said?
I mean, ultimately, I think a lot of these right-wing, like, independent media personalities, they can read the room better than politicians can. So, you know, I mean, how Alex Jones even said recently.
Personality.
Yeah, like, I'm one step away from giving up on Trump. That's like, yeah, you're uncomfortable about all this Epstein shit and everything else going on, you know? I mean, and talk about something that really comes up to bite them in the end. I mean, that they were the ones calling for it.
And now they got it.
Yeah, everyone knows Trump is in the Epstein files.
That dude is a dude.
Who knows who Bubba is? But, you know, I
mean. Oh, God.
So,
Bubba.
Yeah. Don't you love how that was just like a headline of the day and then other stuff happened?
Yeah,
you know?
no,
like,
now we're into war crimes.
There's been a lot of like, at one point they said Bubba was a horse.
Yeah,
I think somebody said Bubba was a horse. Yeah.
It could be Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. It could be.
I mean, that would also track though. So like maybe.
I mean, he is really obsessed with things being big. That there's a big boy. Like he's always like enamored by big things. Like I never want to be around him for many reasons. First of all, I hear he smells like double cheeseburger poop. And like second of all, like I have a feeling he'd be like, "Oh, you're a big one. You're a real fine like I don't like it." There was a guy.
I don't know, but what if you like walked in there like Zoran and just like made him an awe? You know, I mean,
I'm not pretty.
That's like a challenge.
No, see, Zoran's pretty though. He's got that pretty thing going on where he like walks in, and he's like, whole room lights up, and you're like, "Oh shit, it's Zoran." Like I bet, like I can't wait till Luigi Mangione is like acquitted or whatever, and then he walks into Trump, and Trump gives him the same look.
Mm-hmm. Well,
if he goes on Tinder, it would break Tinder. It would break Tinder.
I heard something the other day that they, I haven't read into it, so you know it's true. But Luigi Mangione, they didn't read him his rights.
That's what we were talking about. He might be, he might get off because
he might be able to get out. And like, you know, I don't even know if he's the one who did it, but
maybe not.
Going forward with some platform questions, what do you think the biggest issue facing this part of Illinois is? Because you've spent a lot of time in the Metro East.
I have, and honestly, I think it's so poverty across the district is really high. I mean, 17%. Like the state average is around 10 or 11. The national average is around 10 or 11, and 17 is very high. And there's a lot of people that are making barely above the poverty threshold, which should be, you know, raised anyway. So I would say affordable housing, just lack of affordable healthcare right now, although I'm in favor of universal healthcare.
Absolutely.
And just the lack of good jobs that pay living wages, you know? And I don't even like the term living wages. I like to say thriving wages because like everyone should have enough to be able to afford to enjoy life. And that's something that like it's I don't know. I mean, it was already important to me before, but after hearing all these stories over and over again, I mean, there are, I talked to a woman who works at SIUE, and she is a union employee there, still makes barely above minimum wage. Yep. She lives in Section 9 housing. Like, it's crazy. And you hear these stories all the time. I have volunteers who, if they can find jobs, because a lot of them have been fired, they have up to 3 jobs just to be able to afford their rent. I mean, it's crazy.
We were just talking earlier. I'm a nurse, and I'm about to not have health insurance because they're like, no way I can afford over $300 a month. It's out of the question.
Yeah. I snuck in buying a house before housing got out of sight.
Yeah, I mean, I only bought my house because of the VA loan, because it was 0 down.
My neighbors did too. They were both veterans, and I love them so much. I'm so glad. But they did, both of them got a house there.
But I mean, those are the kinds of things, right, that I say all the time. Like, the military is what made me, so progressive. Like, you do your job, and you get, especially when you're on active duty, free healthcare. You get education benefits. They pay for your housing. They give you a food supplement. Why doesn't everyone get that? And that's kind of my question, right? And so, I mean, it's things like universal healthcare, universal childcare, and free school lunch, free education even. Like, when people have all that extra money, what are you going to do with it? You're going to buy things in the economy, and that money still is going to go back to these corporations anyway, right?
Maybe.
I mean, hopefully not as much. But
if I have a lot of money, I'm spending it locally.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but this idea that like trickle down economics clearly doesn't work, and it is going to be hard, to tax the rich, because it's not just income, right? We need to tax wealth. Yep. We need to close corporate tax loopholes, but just because it's hard doesn't mean we shouldn't do it. We need to do it.
No, absolutely. I think we were talking with our last interview with Troy Taylor before, Nicole and I, about the moon landing. Mm-hmm. See, she's not sure if we landed.
I'm not huge into conspiracy theories, but I don't know. I'm just always like, it's a little sus. I don't know.
I think the conspiracy is they invented the moon landing conspiracy to cover up what we could do if we taxed rich people and had robust public services.
I think we lied every single time we said we went to.
I think that we made up the conspiracy to say that it's like, oh, we lied about going to the moon. We can't do that again. It's like, no, we absolutely could. We just spend so much fucking money on tax subsidies. Like, look at the amount of money we give Elon fucking Musk. That dude's about to be a trillionaire.
I know. We're closer to having a trillionaire than we are to having wealth equality.
Alden has way too many Teslas running around here, too.
Yeah, I mean, and like the idea of an electric car is cool.
It is.
And it's been around since the 19-teens. Like
If anyone does it right, please make them look cuter, though. They just they look
So ugly. Here's something
everyone gets a Cybertruck.
So I have a secret day job not many people know about. I work with confidential information, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But like sometimes I get to look at old deeds. Mm-hmm. By sometimes I mean every fucking day. But I found out that there was an electric train that went from like Alton to Edwardsville to Springfield. Wow. And it was like in the early 1900s. And then I look into it a little more, and like General Motors bought out all of these public transportation services. Like, but Illinois has some of the best rail in the country too. Like Chicago's a hub.
Yeah.
So would you try to get more rail here? Like, I know Alton to Chicago is a beautiful ride. Mm-hmm. And I know I took Carbondale down to New Orleans on the Spirit of New Orleans, which leaves from Chicago.
Nice. I always want to do that one.
Oh, yeah. No, it's great. We took it for our honeymoon. We took it there and back. And it was $388, 2 people round trip.
That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. It was one of the cheapest parts of the honeymoon. But
no dealing with traffic.
It's just cool. And you could sleep in there. Amtrak's cool.
Do they have like the sleeper? Like my grandpa used to tell me stories about long train trips, and they had a little
They do have the sleeper car. We didn't get in it. We went in the observation car a lot, especially through like Mississippi, where it's all like a window dome and you look out and you see all these swamps and birds and shit. Good shit. But would you be in favor for like more robust public transportation through Illinois?
Absolutely.
And what would that look like?
So I think, I lived in Germany for 3 years. The one upside to Europe is that it's a lot smaller. At least a lot of these countries are, right? Like, Germany is the size of New Mexico. France is the size of Texas. So, but I mean, yeah, Germany, France, and Italy have amazing rail networks. I mean, really a lot of Western Europe too, and Eastern Europe. We need to start by connecting some of our cities that are like too far to drive but too close to fly kind of a thing. So especially like in the Midwest, I could see connecting Chicago, Indianapolis, and St. Louis, and then having high-speed rail between there, making sure that you have stops through all these major cities.
Throw Cincinnati in there.
Yeah, exactly. But I think like if we worked on a Midwest network, but what I don't want is public-private partnerships, right? Like we need to put federal investment into these services.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Champaign-Urbana is probably the outlier. We have an amazing bus service because of the university. The university essentially funds that, like through the student fees. But we need that everywhere. I mean,
that's what I was just going to say. A smaller level, like fuck the trains. I mean, not fuck the trains. Trains are awesome, but bus systems. I mean, my son just turned 18. He just got a car, but he's been spending $25 one way on an Uber just to get to work. His whole paycheck's on work, and that's a lot of even coworkers. I worked with CNAs and nurses who would have to Uber an hour away, which was a crazy amount for an hour away Uber, because they didn't have public transportation. General buses suck around here.
No, exactly.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and Americans in general, like we've been, and I like to say, like, it's good to acknowledge our history, and it's important to say that it's not my fault, it's not your fault, it's not your fault, but like we can either be part of the solution or part of the problem, and that comes to things like systemic racism, but it also comes to things like just fixing the environment, right? Like we can continue to make the mistakes of our ancestors, but if we do, then the planet's not going to be around for that much longer. So I want to be part of the solution, and I'm sure you do too.
I mean, absolutely. Actually, it's time for our first break. But whenever we get back, we're going to talk about being a part of the environmental solution, because I worked with the Sierra Club, actually, as a lobbyist for CEJA, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, which I still love. So, let's talk more about how Illinois is ahead of the curve whenever we get back.
We're voting for him.
Yeah, so he's running against Nikki Budzinski, who's our current congressional representative. The primary is March 17th.
It's coming up.
Early voting starts February 5th.
I've never early voted, and I might want to do that, but I don't know
early
how to
voting
do that.
kicks ass.
I might do that this time.
Yeah, because like you get to just vote at your own leisure. You get to research candidates. You get to Tabs and I early vote. Sometimes we also would like vote on the day of, because like I'm a nerd, and I kind of like the experience of an election day where everyone's going to the polls.
It is exciting.
It is
and
very
you get a little
exciting.
sticker and everything. Do you get a sticker if you early vote? Do they send you a sticker?
You get a sticker if you. I mail-in voting. I don't know what.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I think you have to go to the county building and steal a pen.
Okay.
Yeah, be like, I did vote. Check your mailbox. All right. So before our break, we were talking about Illinois. Sustainable energy, green energy, a clean climate. Like, I noticed your shirt says there is no planet B. It's a really good King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard song.
Yeah.
But also, it's a fucking concept that we really need to ponder these days.
Yep.
So how do you feel about what Illinois is currently doing, and what would you like to see us do better on a state and national level?
I still think we're too dependent on the fossil fuel industry.
Mm-hmm.
We could be doing a lot more when it comes to investing in solar energy, wind energy, and one day I hope that we can get clean nuclear energy, like nuclear fusion reactors,
absolutely,
to help power our state.
I mean, that's the future.
It is, but in the meantime, like, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but Nikki Budzinski is pro carbon capture, and she is very pro biofuel. She bolded it on her website.
Oh, biofuel is fake green energy.
Yeah, exactly. I do think one of the things that's a failure of the nuclear deal messaging, at least for people like me, because I never heard about it until reading into it. A big part of the Green New Deal is creating jobs. Right? It's transitioning jobs away from the fossil fuel industry towards the clean energy industry. So in ways that they could have that job for a long time. And I think like coupling that with a lot of our efforts to strengthen unions and allow everyone in America to unionize with things like the PRO Act. And strengthening union rights by overturning the Taft-Hartley Act. Like that in itself, with things like the Green New Deal, I mean, will really just create so much worker power, and that's what this movement, like for not just me but everyone across the country, is all about, right? Like unfortunately 100 years ago workers died on picket lines fighting for the rights that we have now.
Yeah,
the 40-hour
went to war with the mine owners. There's the Haymarket Square, like.
Yep. And I hope it doesn't come to that, but we need to stand up for our own rights. Otherwise, they will be taken away.
Which brings me to my next question about standing up for rights and worker riots. So one thing may surprise a lot of people who accuse me of being a lib. I do not like J.B. Pritzker's assault rifle ban. I'll just be out with it. And I mean, I have had lots of people who disagree with me that I genuinely respect. I see the other side of the issue very clearly. Where do you fall as far as firearms go?
So, personally, I don't own any firearms. You know, obviously I've shot them a bunch of times in the military. I think that, you know, it's a cool stress reliever. I don't hate shooting, but I just never saw the need to have one in my house. But that being said, like, I'm not anti-gun. I'm more about strengthening things like universal background checks, eliminating gun show loopholes, and making it so no gun falls into the wrong hands. And so, as far as the assault rifle ban goes nationwide, personally, I'm kind of leaning towards implementing it, but I haven't really been lobbied that much either way. So maybe you can sway me now.
I mean, my whole issue is most murders are committed by 9mm pistols.
No, that's fair.
So assault rifles, while the high capacity is horrific, it's also less prominent than just normal old pistols that everyone, I almost said everyone has because I'm just so used to everybody just having a pistol. Just, oh yeah, there's your 9. Because, you know.
I mean, look at your hat. You definitely love guns.
Listen, if my hat is any indication of my favorite gun, comment below what you think my favorite gun platform is. It's an Ushanka, so what do people with Ushankas like to fire? But yeah, so I mean, obviously I'm one of those.
No,
everyone should have a Kalashnikov, walk around with it and be. But also, I don't. The older I get, the more I see people in the just in general public. Like, I was raised around guns, right?
Yeah.
So I have this genuine respect for them. All guns are loaded guns. Never point at anything you don't plan on shooting. Never put your finger on the fucking trigger. All of that.
You were taught the safety, which
exactly
a lot of people weren't.
All of it. And I think that should be mandatory. I think getting a gun should be like having a car. It's go through it, go through the safety, go through the wellness checks, go through the target shooting, because if you're going to have a tool like that, know how to fucking use it.
Yep.
But I also think the government should subsidize teaching people firearm safety.
No, we should. Yeah, I mean, that's another thing too.
Yeah, we live in a nation with too many guns.
Yeah.
And people should learn what they are, how to use them, the safety of them, and even
if you don't think there's plenty of cases where people, kids have been over at a friend's house. Their parents might not have guns. Their friends' parents have guns, and they see a gun and
play with it. There's guns on the streets.
Exactly.
We live in a country post Sandy Hook where Americans did not want to give up their guns,
and they will never do it.
And so unfortunately, I think it's how do we make this as safe as possible, right? And like you said, I understand the assault rifle ban argument, because a lot of these people have been victims of gun violence or their
and a lot of mass shooters use
emotional
exactly
side of that.
So I mean, and we can't discount that, but I think it's something that either way, the first step is implementing all that other stuff, and then I think that assault rifle ban discussion comes a little bit later, right?
I would say so. And I think a lot of times when Republicans respond to mass shootings with, we need mental health, it's okay, why did Ronald Reagan shut down all the mental health institutions? Why aren't you backing universal health care? Why aren't you doing any of this? It's mental health is a big problem. Fucking do something about it.
Well, and I mean, I've mistakenly said that before too, and not in the Republican way that's the problem, but I've said that it's one of the confounding factors. But I think it's important to not even talk about mental health when it comes to gun violence, because there's a lot of studies that have shown that people with actual mental health disorders are
way
50%
more likely to be a victim.
Yeah, way more likely to be a victim than actually doing any violence themselves.
Yep, and I think it stigmatizes people with mental health issues.
Yeah, and it is weird, because I kind of had a long discussion on this, because there's a lot of people in America with mental health disorders, and I encourage you to, get treatment with that. And there's also a lot of people who might not necessarily have a full, mental health disorder, but due to the pressure of society from things like COVID and economic turmoil, you're feeling a shitload of anxiety right now. And I encourage you to also, go to therapy too, because some of those things, like, if you don't take care of something temporary, like, it can become permanent. And
we love therapy.
Yeah, we're big therapy fans.
No,
therapy
honestly,
is amazing.
I've never said this in an interview yet, but so when I was in Germany, I was in a really, really rough patch. I had PTSD since Afghanistan, and my therapist recommended the book The Four Agreements, and it was definitely one that really helped me kind of change my perspective, because it's this idea, like, the Four Agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, even compliments, which is hard for some people. Don't make assumptions, and always do your best about the other ones. But in order to live those, you also have to get rid of all the false assumptions you believe about yourself. So things like, oh, I'm ugly, I'm not good enough, my mom left because of me, like things like that. Once you break those, it helps you kind of change your perspective a lot. So
it's the attachment, like even though it's like we're attached to those thoughts and everything.
To desire is to suffer.
Yeah.
That is it all breaks down to that. I'm a big fan of Zen Buddhism. I love the koans. Big fan of Taoism. Love the Tao Te Ching. It's actually right up there. So yeah, I'm a big fan of, like, religious freedom and whatnot. And we've been interviewing a lot of progressive pastors.
That's good.
Actually. Wow. There's a left-wing Christianity movement going on around here that I've noticed. And whenever I was working for CEJA, the Clean Energy Jobs Act, some of our best volunteers were from black churches in East St. Louis. Like, they were the ones who were like, no, we live in a Superfund area. Yeah, no, fuck that. No, we want to fight for environmental stewardship. And I grew up in the woods, so and I watch agricultural chemicals like kill the salamanders in my stream.
Oh wow!
And like the darters in my other family stream, and I've gone crazy thinking about it, because like amphibians and darters and a lot of like crawfish are indicator species. They're like the barometer. Like once you don't see them anymore, it means the water's too dirty for their larva. And I'm like out in the middle of nowhere. So where's it all come from? Then you learn about agricultural chemicals, and then Illinois is this huge agricultural powerhouse, but also our farmers have been fucked over by the Trump administration's tariffs, as well as its other trade wars. And
and I would say there's some, Nikki in general, if you look at her, like, policies that for biofuel, that doesn't help small farmers.
No,
that helps big ag. And so, it's something that probably wasn't always a progressive leftist platform, but like, my priority is small businesses and small farmers.
Yes.
Big corporations, big ag can fuck off,
Absolutely. What's sad is a lot of the rural small farmers, the ones who vote right, though, because they think they have
that? Why do they vote against their interests?
I mean, have you heard of the book? It's called "What's the Matter with Kansas?"
No.
It kind of looks into how, because Kansas farmers all voted Democrat, and then they really got manipulated it, and part of it is when there was this whole thing about how it's kind of like why we all use cornstarch and everything versus other types of sweetener and a lot of stuff for so long. And a lot of it's because the government was like buying it in order to bail out the farmers. And there were just so many efforts. I mean, it's kind of like, the right has also co-opted religion for a long time. Yeah. Now we're like you said, we're winning them back. And honestly, the mutual aid in Champaign, in Springfield, there's these interfaith alliances that are coming together, and they're doing all this mutual aid, and it's so impactful. And so, we've lost people before, and we win them back with good policy.
Are you familiar with some of the mutual aid programs in Springfield? Have you ever heard of Intricate Minds?
Yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah,
my friend Tahira, she started that. We actually were both homeless.
Oh, wow.
Like moms when we were in our early 18, 19-ish years old in Springfield. And so I love that she started that. That was grassroots as hell. I love that.
Yeah. Alton and Belleville have a lot of mutual aid grassroots efforts as well.
I know I talk about Springfield a lot because I do love Springfield.
No, I know. It's good. I think Springfield
I lived there for a while.
It's a very important city to us. I mean, it's the capital of Illinois.
Have you guys heard of the Satanic Church in Springfield?
Check it out, dude.
I didn't know they were getting a satanic. Do they have one now? Mutual aid.
Mutual aid.
Going
Okay,
back.
so we're talking
Mutual
about
aid.
community. We're talking about small farms.
Yep.
So like, one thing I recently learned is Illinois is like the biggest producer of pumpkins.
Oh, wow.
And a lot of those are from small farmers.
Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
and it's crazy to me that like, I mean, I love pumpkin. I'll eat it right out of the can. And there's so many pumpkin patches around here.
Yeah.
Ran by small farmers, and a lot of those small farmers, they're losing their ancestral land to big ag. They're losing their ancestral to solar farms. And like, I like solar farms. I think they're great, but like a lot of small farms are being forced to subsidize those as well as cell towers and.
No, it's tough, right? And that's where I think like we can't just slap solar panels and windmills and be like, all right, that'll work now, because there are always second and third order effects. I've heard there's complaints about some of the older solar panels that they can really destroy biodiversity, and so it might really harm the local wildlife to some level. And so I think like you do need to do a full analysis and say, all right, well, what's the long-term solution? But I mean, is it better than what we're doing right now? Hell yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and like there is a time for incremental change, and then there's a time for complete upheaval. And like, how do you differentiate the two? Like, especially like running as a progressive, like that's such a mix of incremental change and upheaval that it scares a lot of voters who don't understand that the word upheaval means that the thing that they hate right now, they might not hate tomorrow.
Yeah, I try to remind people as much as possible that a lot of the things that we're asking for are not crazy. Like we're not asking for communism. We're not.
You're not asking for communism.
Like we're asking to shift America onto a new path. And a lot of this stuff has been implemented by FDR and people like that before with things like the New Deal. And
absolutely, and Social Security.
Yeah, exactly. And it's
the 4-term president.
Unfortunately, people aren't stupid. They're misinformed, they're undereducated, and they're propagandized. And we see the effects of it to this day.
Do
Absolutely.
you think that people would be more willing to accept those things if it wasn't so interconnected with quote unquote identity politics and race and do you think
we've had hundreds of years of hating socialism?
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately, I think my platform is centered on affordability, but it's also centered on defending human and civil rights. I stand with every immigrant in our communities. I believe that part of the reason that there is a problem with our immigration system. It's the fact that it's impossible to immigrate legally with the way the paperwork side of it is so messed up. And that's now we're seeing, Trump manipulate it right now.
The Somalis.
Yeah.
He's going after the damn Somalis.
Well, and with that, I mean, if you look at the data, of the, Somalis,
87% are
are citizens. Yeah, exactly.
And 56% were born here.
Yeah.
They don't know any other place but Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. It's like,
but
why
you
don't
can't
you just deport Mike Lindell?
Yeah. You need to have red lines, right? And my red line is throwing trans people under the bus because I defend all human rights. My red line is throwing immigrants under the bus, and my red line is genocide. If you step on that red line, then I'm not gonna work with you.
Same. Yeah. Those are like my identical red lines. Also, abortion.
Yep. Yeah.
Abortion's a red line for me. I don't care if somebody is personally against abortion.
Yeah.
I do care if they want to codify abortion as illegal.
Yeah.
Because I've met a lot of Christians who are like, I don't like abortion, but a person's right to choose is a person's right to choose. And it's
no, exactly.
I can vibe with that. And recently I read about this fake abortion clinic in Illinois, and I don't know. How do you feel about places that are like
the Thrive and stuff? No, I've had experiences with those actually, because I was in a Christian maternity home. That's how I found out about those things. And there were, what are they called? There's a certain name for it, and I'm not.
I don't know. I think they should be gross. I think they should be banned.
They're advertised as women's health care.
Yes.
But really, you go in there and it's religious talk, religious pamphlets. They talk. They don't put you anywhere in their pamphlets educating you on your options. It's not even an option.
To me, it's like a fake thing where it's like, oh, are you an abortion vulnerable woman? It's like, the fuck does that mean?
Also, if you go there first when you're at the cutoff date between getting a legal one, a few weeks, if you go there And then you realize a few weeks later, oh crap, no, this is not even a legit women's health care. But then
it's too late to get an abortion.
Too late.
Yeah, I think those should be banned.
They really fucking should.
No, exactly.
Or they should be forced to advertise what they really are, like this organization.
Yes.
And there's a lot of important things we need to do for women's rights, right? Like, I mean, I just made a video about this yesterday, but like, you know, we need to codify Roe v. Wade.
Absolutely.
We need, like, there's no reason, especially in 2025, that a man and a woman working the same job and the man makes more money.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, I mean, Donald Trump is attacking every person who's not a white man. So like, it's not a surprise, but it is disgusting. The attacks on women, the attacks on our black and brown communities. I mean, yeah, like I said, anyone who's not a white man.
No, hard
I think
agree.
It's funny though how a lot of people are like, well, it's like trad wife stuff is trending, and that's what you're. But those trad wife, they are entrepreneurs. They are literally making money off of you watching their fucking videos. And people like, fuck Erica Kirk. I'm sorry, I fucking hate Erica Kirk. But she's the same way. Oh, yeah, you told Christian values and everything. But like, she is a shark. Actually, I don't have respect for her, but I fear her. And she's also brilliant.
Yeah, there's Epstein connections with her.
Oh, no, for sure. So but she's fucking smart.
Yeah.
And it scares me.
It does. The right wing is extremely savvy. And the Democrats aren't.
I mean, like, these guys aren't stupid.
No, they're just...
They're manipulative. Yeah, I mean...
But that reminds me. So there's another Illinois civil rights issue that I don't have a take on, but I've noticed I don't like it. Mm-hmm. And it's all the legalized gambling. Like recently CNN has made that whole... Is it Kelshi? Made that whole like betting thing where like you can bet on the fucking news.
Yeah, no, it's out of hand.
That's setting up dystopian terrorism.
Yeah,
like somebody will do a terrorism to win money from that.
Yeah,
like recently somebody like changed the map on a Russian-Ukraine thing, and the map change won somebody a lot of money, and then they had to correct it.
I've never heard this before, but that's scary. Holy shit.
People are betting about like how much Russian ground will be gained.
Yeah.
I
it's
hate
insane.
Gambling addiction. Just smoke crack. I don't just fucking
there's slot machines everywhere.
Now. It's been like kind of a slow. I think it was because during COVID there were times that, you know, and like when we got those those payouts from the government, like it was helpful, but some people were using that to bet, and they just kind of had more income in general because they weren't going out, they weren't, and so they were saving a bit of money, and so I noticed at the time, like I went to a football game with my dad in late 2021, right before I went to Germany, because he likes the Steelers. We went to a Bears-Steelers game, and the Steelers fans there were like cheering that Justin Fields got a certain amount of rushing yards so they could hit their parlay. And I'm like, why aren't you cheering for your own team? Like, what is going on? Like, more people were cheering for their bets than on the game. And I have gone to a couple games since, and I've noticed the exact same thing. That, I mean, it's crazy. And some of these parlays are just insane. Do you know what a parlay is?
Yeah.
Yeah. ESPN, CBS, like you said. I mean, it started with sports, but
is the horrifying one for me because it's like just the idea that any bad actor can the idea that somebody can run for an office, right?
Yeah.
Put a bet on themselves and then have other people bet on them to win or lose and then use that to finance their shit.
Wow.
Like there's a whole pyramid scheme you can create.
Don't bet on me winning or losing. Don't bet on my race, period.
Yeah. Don't bet on this guy or against this guy. He is not a racehorse.
You can bet on me with your mind, just not with money.
You can vote for him.
Yeah.
But
that Nikki girl sounds horrible.
Nikki Budzinski is a complicated usual Democrat. Like I did some work for Democrats down here before, and it was like they were pro-life Democrats, and that fucked my head up.
Yeah,
like I know they weren't personally like that, but I guess the data down here was like, oh yeah, all these people hate abortion. It's like, no, we fucking don't.
No, we have a supermajority in Illinois,
and
yet I think part of the reason that they don't get more done is one, corporate money in politics, and two, the fact that there's a lot of pro-life Democrats in there. There's a lot of Democrats in the state house that are actually Republican.
Yes.
Because they, and like you said, it might not be because they actually have those views, but because they feel like they need to vote for their district. I mean, Nikki justifies being so bipartisan in a time where there's literal Nazis in the White House because I sincerely think that part of her must actually think that she needs to vote on some of those Republican bills.
Absolutely. I don't think she's personally as conservative as she votes.
No, and I do think it's just like we're in a 60-40 blue district, and more Democrats in general now identify as progressive than moderate. Like it's time to fight back with good policies, right?
Absolutely.
And at the end of the day, like we need a stronger party to stand up to what's going on right now.
Are you a fan of Eugene Debs?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I went to Catholic school, and our history teacher put his like photo right next to Jesus.
Oh wow.
And was like, these are my two favorite socialists. And we learned all about Eugene Debs running for president. We also had a class
prison. Yeah. Hopefully I don't have to do that. Yeah.
I mean, I think that would be kind of fun in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. My view of political prisoner all comes from the IRA. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, just get naked, poop everywhere, and yell about their feeding tube. Like, that's what they did. I mean, dude, up the raw. But enough glazing a terrorist organization.
No, exactly. I actually had there was a paper we read in the military once that was comparing the IRA to the Taliban, and it was just kind of one of those where it was like, on both sides, people like Osama bin Laden and IRA leaders were saying the exact same quotes, like. Yeah, so it was just kind of looking at terrorism, and kind
of like Trump and Hitler.
Yeah,
that's different. That's more of national fascism.
Yeah,
terrorism.
But what I mean is there two people saying
terrorism started as like a left-wing movement to motivate political change through violence. And a lot of it was like they would declare themselves terrorists. They're like, yes, we are terrorists. It was like a badge of honor. And then, and then Churchill was like, one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. And it's like, where do you draw the line for that? Like where is the line between because you were in Afghanistan, you have to have a little bit of empathy for the people whose land you were in, but also you had to go home.
Yeah, no, I mean, I was there from 19 to 20, and, I did the most that I could to help my Afghan partners, but when we got there, we knew that the government that we put in power was very corrupt. And we weren't holding them accountable. We definitely did not set them up for success. And also you also just learn in general that Afghanistan has a lot of clan-based societies.
Yes.
They don't identify, necessarily, kind of like a lot of the countries in Africa. They don't accept the borders that we drew, and so it's just there's always more to the story. Unless it's Israel-Palestine, and then it's just, it's colonialism.
Yeah.
But in a lot of cases, I mean, I guess colonialism is the cause of a lot of it now that you think about it.
But fuck the Taliban, though.
But still, I do think it's important to never advocate for violence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think even with everything going on, it's a nonviolent resistance in any way we can. And sometimes, that's
You don't think that violence is ever the answer?
I don't think he said that.
No, that's what I was clarifying.
I'm not advocating for it now.
No.
I mean, I do think that you have to continue to fight back using any lever of power you can, right? I mean, we still have the courts. We still have other ways to fight back. Unfortunately, I feel like when left with no other option, people will resort to it.
And do you think we are maybe coming to that slowly based on certain rights being taken away?
I mean, potentially.
We are a powder keg of a nation.
Yeah. No, it is. And that's why you kind of have to say, all right, here are the recommended ways that you can make your protest a little bit more effective, or here are ways that you can, do civil disobedience. And we're seeing great things come together right now. I mean, people just running ICE out of their towns, following them around with whistles, and just, I mean, great things. Kat Abou-Ghazaleh, I don't know if you know her, but
yep, she's awesome.
Yep, she was indicted for those bullshit crimes for the political
like a
persecution.
badass.
Yeah, and I mean, it was just an act of civil disobedience. And that's what we need more of right now.
Yeah,
we do have a question from the producer Ryan. Is the answer to Christian nationalism satanic nationalism? Okay.
No.
No.
All nationalism is ass.
So I'm not. I'm not religious personally, but I believe in freedom of religion. I mean, I think for a lot of people, it's something that, it helps them establish a core set of values, I mean, but ultimately, I think the way that we get through Christian nationalism is by building up our communities, right? Because regardless of who you are and what you believe in, we're all just people. And
we all got to get by.
Yeah. And I mean, there's people, especially in the military. I was actually talking this, somebody asked me today, like, oh, are you surprised when you find out that people are Republican in the military? And I say, yeah, honestly, I am sometimes. Because sometimes I'll be like, wait, but you're such a good person, you know?
See, I growing up, I thought that actually all military was bad. I'm not going to lie. Growing up, I had this bad thought about how everyone in the military was Republican, to be honest with you.
I mean, there were a lot of
it's typically on. Yeah, it's 60-40, you know, in general, usually they say. But I mean, I think the important thing to acknowledge is that a lot of people join the military because it's a great jobs program, right? As Hassan says. I joined the military because I dropped out of college after my freshman year. And
hell yeah.
I was working 2 jobs. Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Same. But, and so, I joined the military to take advantage of the Illinois National Guard grant, and I was able to pay for my school. I eventually, got a master's in biochem, but like, sadly, none of that would have been possible. And I do think the leadership experience is good. Yeah, the military imperialism around the world, as we're seeing right now with Venezuela, is not good.
No, it's terrible.
And I think like the one thing with Donald Trump, right, is he's doing things out in the open that have been going on for a long time.
Yeah.
Oligarchy in America and billionaires and big tech just completely having far too much power over our economy and our government. That's one. But then the wars for corporate gain, as far as oil.
All the way back to Smedley Butler, war is a racket.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And, as System of a Down says, why do they always send the poor?
Hell yeah, I do love me some System of a Down. One last question before we go to the break. I want to throw it back to the violence question. Is one of the worries you have, because this is the worry I have. I have a worry that if we do resort to violence, like if our structures fail us and that there is like political violence that's uncontrollable, I'm worried we're going to balkanize. Is that something you think about often? Like what a United States would look like if we fractured based on a lack of federal leadership? And what would you do to stop that?
I mean, ultimately, like, it's tough. I think I'd actually said this to a couple of my friends when I was in Europe. I said, I think one of the reasons that Europe is so successful is because, they're all like split up into their own nation states. And it's really hard to govern a United States that's so big and so diverse. And so that's where it's hard, that the argument for states' rights is like, oh, we all have different opinions and we should be able to vote on our own stuff. But still, like, at the end of the day, we've seen that pulling federal investments out of education, out of healthcare, I mean, and all those things, like, it's just deteriorating our nation. And so, like, I always say that as a representative for aisle 13, I'll be fighting for our district, but I'll also be fighting for all Americans with our policies, And yeah, I mean, like, I hope we don't succumb to violence.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, really at that point, it's whatever solution we can peacefully move on, I mean, and so I hope it never gets to that point. But at the end of the day, like, we cannot continue in this moment the way we are. I mean, healthcare is getting so expensive.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, people's premiums are about to skyrocket because Dick Durbin voted, along with many others, to open the government again.
I hope Jump Shepard replaces him.
Jump's pretty good. Yeah.
I haven't even looked into it yet, and time's running up. No, like for how much everything's going to go up, and I'm like, I'm just kind of we'll feel ignorant for like 2 more weeks.
People are, I mean, they are grinding them down, which is a normal authoritarian way to do business, right? To make people struggle so much that they don't pay attention to what's going on around them.
I think that's playing with fire. Americans are crazy.
Yeah.
We are insane. We are nutso people. We are capable of insanity. Like, I don't want to see crazy shit. I want to chill. Yeah. I want to be like, I want to sit at home. I want to play my hacked Xbox. I want to play my Forza 4.
But we also have childhood trauma, so we can multitask. We can get mad at the world, and we can make changes. We can do a lot.
We can do both.
Healing, but not healed. All right, so we're going to take our last break. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to talk to you about messages to current troops about illegal orders. Perfect. Let's see how many people we can get Hegseth to de-security clearance. Lots of aliens going to be sleeping alone tonight. Them cheeks unclapped. Unclapped alien cheeks for all of you. Listen, I think the age of consent should be 21.
I think it should be 30.
I think 25, actually.
I mean, it does make sense to do it whatever your alcohol level is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but also in Germany, you can get a beer when you're 14. Right. as long as your parents.
In a lot of countries, though, that's like Europe. That's why there's less rates of alcoholism because they kind of do. Like you grow up in that culture.
So I went to a rock concert there, and everyone had like 4 beers, and I was like, damn, you guys are stone cold sober right now.
What
right?
concert?
They paced themselves.
And it was Pearl Jam at the time.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, I saw Pearl Jam.
That sounds like a hoot.
I saw a lot of good concerts there. Yeah.
All right, so we're back.
We didn't clap.
Oh, we gotta clap. All right, so we're back with Dylan Blaha, and during the break we were talking about concerts you went to in Germany. You went to Pearl Jam, you said?
I did, yeah. I saw Rise Against in Germany.
Okay, that makes
I went
sense.
to a couple concerts in Belgium, saw the Foo Fighters there. Yeah, it was a good time.
You do have a very alt-rock skater man look about you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you came in here with that Notre Dame hoodie, and the first thing I said is, "You look like you go to Midwest emo shows that you got to pay for." And that was a compliment because I'm used to Midwest emo shows that you walk in and somebody hands you a bucket.
You would see him at a basement show, definitely, most definitely.
He would be the hottest guy at a basement show. No, like not to be like,
Not gonna lie, yeah.
yeah, no, you would, be
Especially in Alton. Like,
yeah, you would, yeah.
he's an Alton 10.
Yeah,
Wow.
at least in Alton 9,
The glaze
which is
now.
wild because you don't hit on people at the bar.
I don't. Yeah.
That's the Alton
Basement venue isn't a bar.
That's true.
Bring your own beer.
It is true. Yeah, you can. Yeah. All right. So
Okay, back on track.
back on track. So we're talking about what message you have for people in this like armed services who are being told to do shit like double tap drug boats that are just fishing boats. And like one thing I kind of hate is we're going after Hegseth. Good. I fucking hate that guy.
Yeah.
But didn't the Obama administration double tap with drone strikes too? Like,
Yeah.
Like, isn't double tapping like the American way of war?
It is. So I think it's important to point out, as many, right-wing people do, that Obama did a lot of the same things, right?
Yeah.
And I say, yeah, I acknowledge that he committed war crimes.
And fuck him for that.
No, exactly. And I think it's one of those that, unfortunately, like I said before the break, that it took Donald Trump for us to realize this. But yeah, a lot of these things have been going on for a long time, right? Like Obama ran a very progressive campaign in 2008, and then he was a very centrist president. And, the Affordable Care Act was better than nothing, but it could have been a lot better, obviously. And things like the Iranian denuclearization deal,
oh, yeah.
that one, those were, good things that ultimately Trump got rid of anyway. But, beyond that, he hurt veterans a lot. I mean, that was constantly the thing that I heard at the time was, Obama's really hurting veterans with all this stuff. And it's just, unfortunately, I think there's a lot of people that voted for Obama and then voted for Trump, right?
Yep. Lots of Bernie bros went for Trump too.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think that is kind of the anti-establishment vibe, right? Because I do think that a lot of those same people that voted for Trump, because they're tired of the system, like they can still ride our progressive wave as well, right? Because Trump fought with fake progressive policies. Centrist Democrats fight with no policies and they think you won't notice. And then progressives fight with good policies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I literally asked a guy today that said he likes Nikki Budzinski. I said, what's your favorite policy that she has? And he balked. He was like, she's really good with the environment. And I wanted to bring up like carbon capture and biofuels, and I was like, I'm gonna let this guy off. I don't wanna like trip him up. I was like, no, I respect your opinion. But it's hard. Like, unfortunately, a lot of people don't know the things that she's voted for, or the fact that a lot of these centrist Democrats don't really have a platform other than defending the status quo.
I'm politically junkified and terminally online, so I'm very familiar with that. I follow lots of content creators. I noticed you had a picture with Hassan.
I do,
who's probably my favorite. I love the Turks in general. I love their ET that they did. I don't know if you've seen it.
I actually got I got interviewed by TYT a couple weeks ago too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was like some of their on the street reporters.
They've fallen out of my favor a bit. Anna Kasparian's rants about trans people just kind of like made me sour in my belly. And like she talked about the unhoused guy, and like I get being afraid of an unhoused person. Like I know a lot of unhoused people around here. Some of them are kind of scary. They're wild people. Some of them are great. And it's not like, and it's like, but all of them deserve housing and dignity and not being used as a stereotype, you know?
Anna and Jank, they're good when it comes to Israel-Palestine, but they've slid very right on a bunch of other
I think they're trying to, I don't know. I think some of their funding got a little Palantir coded, but
yeah. No,
other than
that
that,
would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, like, but TYT has brought us so many weird characters, like Hassan, but also like Jimmy Dore. And what the fuck's up with that guy? Like, he's like, I hate the vaccine. I love Russia, but also we need more unions. And it's like, weird. What?
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, I do think that, you know, people like, I also listen to the Majority Report.
With Sam Cedar. Yep. Hell yeah. Love him on Bob's Burgers.
Hassan Piker is another one that I feel like he just, he really helps to frame things in a way that speaks to young people.
How jacked is he in person? Because he looks like a brick shit ass. Yeah.
He's pretty big. Yeah.
I'd love to wrestle him. So like, if you ever like see him, just be like, I know a guy in Illinois, big old boy, he wants to wrestle you. And if you're watching this right now, big boy, we gonna wrestle. I'm gonna come out to LA. I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna put on some spandex. I'm gonna give you weird little kisses and smell you.
I actually met Hassan at Crooked Con. He was there.
What is Crooked Con?
It's put on by Crooked Media, which is, you know, the Pod Save America guys.
Yeah,
that's kind of their
they're very
umbrella or whatever.
They are very lived up, and honestly, in general, like it was a lot of people that are starting to identify as progressive, but they're still very lived up, or they don't realize that, you know, they would like raise their hand that they wanted Pete Buttigieg to run for president, not knowing, you know, but it's crazy because the crowd was very pro-Palestine. You know, I just don't think they haven't made the connections yet sometimes. And I think one thing that's important to point out with like, there's a lot of progressives that I know running in Illinois that are, some of them are challenging establishment Dems. Some of them are running in open races. And I know people who are running in open races that local Dems have come up to them and said, you don't deserve this. You haven't served your time. You know, and that is the way that they feel, that you have to be a staffer, you have to work in politics, and eventually. And so they don't really care that it's a representative of the people. It's just, it's something where you need to rub enough elbows that, you know, and so, yeah, Nikki worked on Pritzker's campaign. You know, she worked in the Biden administration for like 6 months. And that's like how you rub enough elbows to work your way up, you know, but.
I have a question.
Oh, yeah.
So we were talking about podcasts. So kind of piggybacking off of that. So social media has been huge in your campaigning. So how has it been navigating that? Because I mean, nowadays, like going on podcasts, which we appreciate you, but you know, things like that, Facebook Reels, Facebook, like the algorithm, how has that been for you?
I mean, I think it's been kind of natural. So I started making Reels about 2 months before I started campaigning. And I just felt like it was important to speak out against what was going on and educating people about what was going on. And I think especially as leaders, I mean, I think that's one of Nikki's biggest failures. Is I think that all, and not just her, Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer and the rest of them, they don't educate people about what's going on. They don't use their platform to say, hey, this is fascism. You know, 3 weeks ago, she gave a town hall and said, I'm a little concerned. Oh, yeah, I'm a little fucking concerned, too. You know, but I mean, this is where we're at right now. But yes, I mean, social media has been cool. It's honestly, ever since I kind of blew up with those initial reels, like I've essentially befriended all the political influencers in the country, and so we're like all in all these way too many group chats together. But I mean, it is nice because we do hold ourselves accountable, and we talk about a lot of things that they won't say on corporate media, and things like showing what ICE is doing in real time, and when somebody posts, you know, because I mean, everyone messes up. If somebody posts AI content or something like that, you know, it immediately, hey, take that down. You know, that's not okay. And
love that.
Yeah, it's almost like we're starting to have more journalistic principles than like the actual news. But I mean,
hell yeah.
And that is, you know, ultimately the ways that we build America back up again is with education and with real journalism. And because we need journalistic institutions that hold the government accountable.
Yeah, we also need more local journalism. Yeah. Like I've been a local journalist forever.
I kind of joked we need local influencers too, to like talk about local politics to the people.
Listen,
you know?
I've become that.
Corey's a legend around.
Shut up. But anyway, what I'm getting to is Illinois seems to be one of the more eccentric states in the union.
Yeah.
We're all pretty nuts. Like we're made up of a conglomeration of small towns that each has its own personality, each has its own narcissistic tendencies.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, and like we all we all want to work together though, which is crazy. Like I think Alton loves Springfield. Alton has a very fucked up racial history, but so does most of Southern Illinois.
So does most of Illinois.
Yeah.
There's still sundown towns around here.
We had a lot. There was more sundown towns in Illinois than like any other state, which is crazy because we're Illinois, like we're part of the northern migration. Like Chicago is such a hit place for black culture.
Yeah, between the redlining, I mean, between Chicago, redlining and East St. Louis, I mean, it's...
Oh, the East St. Louis race riots in the 1900s were...
But I think it's super cool to find out about, all these towns. I mean, I've lived in Champaign-Urbana since like 2013, and I spent a lot of time in Springfield just for the National Guard over the years. But yeah, I mean, coming down here, the first time I went to Edwardsville was campaigning, and then just finding out about the town and talking to the people. And
so Alton's way cooler. You should see our scene.
How long have you hung out around these parts?
I try to get out here as much as I can and just like make when I'm out here for days, I just hop around to events as much as possible. But I try to get out here like every week or every other week, but it's hard being 3 hours away, because it's like I don't want to go out there and then feel like I didn't get anything done, and then you
should come clowning with us. We can introduce you to some people.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Oh my God, could you imagine? We could take like the cameras out, go clowning.
That'd be nice.
I do feel like how we win though is
you can go to Bubbies and Sissies.
Let's take them to a
drag show. Yeah,
oh, that'd be cool.
Like,
yeah. All right, but how do we win?
We win by door knocking and just talking to people, right? I mean, and also, phone banking, and as much as people don't answer the phone these days, I mean, that's another way to do it. Like, we just need to talk to as many humans as possible. Because,
I've been a door knocker and a phone banker.
Yeah, because...
for lots of people.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people that agree with us that maybe just don't know that there's an election yet.
And they don't even realize that they're not Republicans.
Yeah. Oh, there's that too.
Yeah, they're like, I want to have universal health care. I want subsidies for my farm. I want clean water. And it's like, yeah, me too, dude.
Yeah.
Why do you like Trump? Well, he's going to give you any of that.
Wasn't it in our interview with, was it Andy Asador?
Andy Asador, he's the head of the Mad Cow Democrats.
We talked about how, like, the rural places, people, they're not going. That's one of the things is that if you actually went to those smaller towns around Ashland and all those little small Pleasant Plains, like, those people, like, my sister lives out there. They're very big Trumpers. I mean, literally, you walk into but you drive into the town, and on their churches, there's Trump signs because that's just what they
should have paid taxes.
But now they're I think some of them are slowly learning that, Trump, it's fuck the small town, and the farmers, there are a lot of trades and farms around there.
Like, imagine all the brain drain, though. Like, imagine you're like a young
you're not
gay
going
kid.
there. But the thing is we're not, that a lot of like Democratic, and progressives, they're not going to those towns because they're just like, oh, it's a lost cause. But instead, they're not even bothering with it, which kind of, I think, screws. No, you're right.
I mean, that's something that, like, especially when we win the primary, like, I want to spend time in every town, and I want to get to as many as we can before then. But the primary is March 17th, and so. It is hard because we got to, like, prioritize, all right, well, how can we meet the most amount of people possible? And some of that is just going to where events already are and talking to people and obviously knocking on doors as well. But
I could take you some places.
Well, at least you're not just concentrating on the north. So that is nice.
I think it's important to point out, though, because this is the biggest fear is there's a lot of people that voted for Nikki that say, but what if I vote for you and then you lose to a Republican? And I think that's crazy because we have policies to actually sway Republicans to vote for us, right? I mean, what's more bipartisan than affordability? And that's what I always come back to is, at the end of the day, people don't really care about trans people. They don't really care about immigration. They care about the fact that their wallet is getting lighter every day. And they're told that the immigrant down the street and the Tifa person down the street is who took their money, but that's not fucking true.
No, it's a billionaires.
And the sooner they will eventually learn that, right? And I think some people are so full of hate that they will need, some form of deprogramming, right? But like when people start to feel disillusioned, we do need to welcome them back in and show them another way. Right?
I mean, milk gets any higher, and I think those hateful people are going to be like dragging trans women into the bathroom. They're going to be like, "You can come in, red carpet, as long as we can afford milk." Yeah, I think that's really like.
I would like to push back on something you said earlier. You were talking about how progressives don't go to small rural towns
for campaigning purposes.
I heard about you from Chelsea Pruden, who's a huge activist in Macoupin County. Macoupin County, Democrats ignored Macoupin County for years.
You're right.
They come out of the woodwork. Like, you have queers everywhere. You have progressives everywhere.
Yep.
And you don't, like, and like, if you want to maintain your kids, if you want your kids to live in the town that you birthed them in, you have to make the town worthwhile. And I think we're learning a lot about that. But like Chelsea and Kelly Hatley up there, they're one of the reasons why whenever ICE came for their fucking city, whenever they took Ishmael, there were hundreds of people, almost like probably 1,000 people out there.
Yeah, we got a lot of people there.
Yeah, and a lot of them were from Macoupin County.
When his daughter spoke, I did see that. I was at work and I was listening.
Yeah, it was heartbreaking. Yeah. But like the fact that many Macoupin residents showed up for that.
No, it is amazing.
So like, if the Democrats and progressives don't go for the rural towns will cry out for you.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of our small towns are dying, you know? Like, I mean, young people are moving away because they can't find jobs there. And that's part of the reason, like, that investing in small businesses is so important, because it's like, well, what if instead of your daughter moving away, she did start a business in your town or whatever? And I mean, that is... It's really important that we don't lose our communities, and this isn't just a problem in America; it's a problem worldwide. In Australia, they ran a study and said that everyone under 44 will likely never be able to own a home in Australia. In Spain, and so it's like different affordability issues in Spain and Italy. There's towns that are completely deserted because all the young people are moving to cities. So I mean, the housing market is something that, one, we need to get private equity all the way out of it. But yeah, I mean, we need huge reform when it comes to, because I mean, like, building affordable housing is important to me, but we also need to fix the current housing market too.
Absolutely, yeah. Every time affordable housing comes up, everyone's
most of Alton is owned by a couple of the same rental companies, which really sucks.
Absolutely, but we are running out of time. Before we go, I want you to give a message to the troops out there who might be given unlawful orders.
And then also tell us about your 3 rescue dogs.
Okay, perfect. So I just want you to know that it's sometimes hard to know what's an unlawful order, right? I mean, if you're told to go against protesters, if you're told to perform law enforcement activities while you're on Title 10, things like that, those are illegal. But sometimes there's a gray area. And it's important to ask a lawyer if you can. You can call the GI Rights hotline. You can talk to a lawyer. You can say, hey, my commander told me to do this. And you can ask, and you know, I'm a captain, and if I was given an order right now, I mean, I've said that I wouldn't deploy to Chicago because I know that is unlawful, but some stuff, it is hard to tell, right? Please don't feel like you need to make the decision on your own. I recommend talking to a lawyer first, but just following orders is not an excuse for war crimes. If you want to learn more about me and what I stand for, please visit DylanForIllinois.com. I have quite a few progressive policies on there. A couple organizations told me it was the most issues they've ever seen on one website. So I'll wear that badge of honor. You can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Blaha for Congress. We're on every social media platform though. I don't know about everyone. I'm not on Rumble. But we do. We'll probably start doing some Twitch live streams and YouTube streams eventually too. The election's March 17th. Early voting starts on February 5th, so that's very soon. You can vote by mail. I encourage you to vote by mail so you can look up the candidates' websites beforehand and not just make a decision at the ballot box. But I definitely would appreciate it if you at least checked out our campaign before making a decision. You know, an informed voter is all I ask for. My 3 rescue dogs.
Yes.
So Captain I adopted when he was 1. They're all 8 right now.
They're all 8?
Yeah, well, supposedly 8. Captain is a border collie. I rescued him from Bloomington Normal, actually, so not too far from here. Sandy is a lab mix. They found her on the side of the road in Tennessee, and so she definitely has some I lived on the street for 4 years tendencies sometimes.
So does Nicole.
I love that. Yeah. I was also homeless.
But she's the sweetest dog ever. So I mean, it's just sometimes when she looks at cats, you're like, yeah, I think you want to eat that cat. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna let you play with that cat, but she's very sweet to people. And Itzy is a poodle mix that I adopted when I was in Germany.
Oh,
so
she was in Germany?
So she was actually in China. One of my very weird story. So my Australian friend worked for an American company that rescued dogs from the Chinese meat trade and tried to, help get them out of there.
So you got a Chinese meat poodle.
I did. Yeah, she was. She was pulled off the back of a chicken truck. They like put them in trucks with other animals to try and disguise this.
So this isn't anti-Xi propaganda. Like, that was a meat poodle.
Yeah, really? And when they found her, she was like completely covered in mud. I mean, it was like she was totally brown. So yeah, I mean, like even the before and after pictures are crazy. But she's a happy and healthy 8-year-old poodle. So.
But thank you for your time.
Yes.
I'm gonna vote.
Thank you.
I mean, you had me with the whole you're not AIPAC.
Yeah.
Not that I'm a single issue voter. It's just, that's a really big one for me where it's like, so you're not for sending money to blow up children. Hell yeah, that's a pretty good baseline. Wow.
I do think that green graphic that Track AIPAC has is that's a winner. I mean, with the green background and then the red background. I mean, it tells a story. That's for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, stay away from AIPAC politicians.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Appreciate you.
Vote before March 17th or on March 17th. Like, fucking vote. Come on. Like, voting is the least you can fucking do. It's not going to change much, but it will help something. Fucking do it.
Don't be
What else are you going to do?
I didn't vote for years, and that was sucky of me.
It was sucky.
I didn't think it
so
mattered.
Easy to do.
I didn't think it mattered
Even
until...
if it doesn't matter, it's so easy. If you care...
Stella is all about it right now. Stella's really into politics right now. She is saying yes.
No, but like if you care about the way things are going, the least you can fucking do is vote.
Okay, just say here's Dylan.
Oh, and here's Dylan Blaha.
Here he is.
Here he is. He's right there. Look at him. Ain't he purty?
Oh my God.